Welcome to Talk with Kristen with an E, the podcast that's like therapy, but cheaper and way more fun. I'm Kristen, host, storyteller, and occasional overthinker. From making friends to surviving burnout, reminiscing on our younger days, and learning how to adult, we'll chat about all life's lessons and laugh in between. So grab your drink, get comfy, and let's talk it out. Hey friends, welcome back to Talk with Kristen with an E. Today I am so excited because I have my friend Tayler here, and Tayler made the decision to quit drinking and using marijuana more than a year ago. Since then, she's gained new level of clarity, focus, purpose, earning certifications, and truly changing her life. But I want to be clear that as we're talking about this today, there's no judgment or shame. It's really focusing on the growth, resilience, and making choices that align with the life you want to have. So whether you're sober conscious, considering making a change, or you just love hearing stories of personal growth, this episode is for you. So, Taylor,
Thanks for having me.
oh my gosh, I've been pestering Tayler for a while. I'm like, you'd be such a good guest on my podcast. And I know she was really nervous about it. First of all, I'm super excited that you are here and are like coming out. Like, I'm so excited about this.
Thank you. I got the courage earlier this week for my 1-year anniversary.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
So before we dive into your whole story, do you want to tell us a little bit about you so people know who you are?
I am a mother, a wife, and live in the neighborhood here with you.
Yay.
We met back in 2020, I think, right when I
Yeah.
moved in. Yeah, I work full-time as well, full-time employee.
And we love going to the pool together. Taylor's one of my
Yes.
best pool friends. We'd always hang out in the summer and we go to the pool, we go to brunch, and we just hang. We went golfing together.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah,
Yep.
my first ever time golfing was with Taylor, and it was super fun. And then we
Yeah.
never did it again. But we're going to, except Taylor's shoulder is hurt.
Yeah, and that was at like the end of the season.
It was, because my birthday is like the end of the summer.
Yeah,
So.
I hibernate in the winter. I can't wait for the warmth to come back.
All right, so let's set it up and share your story. What led you to the decision to quit doing what you were doing? Was there something specific that really made you be like, this is what we're doing now?
I don't even remember how I heard about it, but it was the 75 Hard, Andy Frisella's 75 Hard challenge. What you do is it's 75 days. You work out twice a day. One of them has to be outside in the elements. Drink a gallon of water. You have to give up alcohol. You have to stick to a diet. And then you take a daily photograph of yourself, like
Okay.
a progress picture. I downloaded the app, which it was really helpful to keep me in line. He's got reminders and all of that. I don't really remember where I heard about it. And my first thought was that I could never do it because it was very
Hard?
I was just getting ready to do that. And yeah, there's variations of it. Like people do 75 soft, 75 medium, but just about being disciplined is something for 75 days. And I don't know. It was 2023, so 2 years ago in February. It was getting ready to be my son's birthday too. I don't know why I did it a couple days before his birthday, and it was actually something I had been thinking about the night before. And then I was thinking maybe I'll start it tomorrow. And I remember waking up and I went to do some yoga stretching in my office, and the blinds were open and it was the most beautiful sunrise. And I was like, okay, today's the day.
Wow.
So that was the first day. And yeah, the first week was rough. Just getting all of those things accomplished and then also not drinking when I was used to doing it so much all the time.
Would you be able to say how much you were drinking before then?
So it got pretty bad. I feel like I have one of those addictive personalities and I fall into habits very easily, whether that be good habits or bad habits. And one of my habits I started doing was stopping at this one particular Quick Trip on my way home from the office, and I would get a couple airplane shots of Fireball. And it started out as 2. I'd
Mhm.
slam those back, smoke a joint on the way home,
Wow.
and then when I came home, have some wine or some vodka. And we live in a neighborhood with a pool, a beach, and so summertime, you really get to enjoy and just party all the time. So that kind of got the best of me all the time. I never ever really I added really drank when I worked. It was either right at 4 o'clock, right when I stopped working. I did sometimes wake and bake in the morning and then work out. That for the 75 hard those days, I was still smoking. So that
Okay,
kind of got
right.
me through, when I was stressed and I would want
Mhm.
to drink. I also had to change my commute.
Oh, you
I
did?
could not go by that Quick Trip or any of the gas
Really?
stations that I was, yeah.
Because the temptation was too much for you?
And I guess just the habit of, going in there. And it started those people that always see you at Quick
Mhm.
Trip, like the workers.
Yeah. You, like, built a relationship with them. They know who you are.
Yeah. And I
Mhm.
started realizing that they were already grabbing for the
Oh, like,
fireball.
"Here comes the fireball girl. Let's get him
Ugh,
out for her."
makes my tongue curl now, the fire thing of
Yeah.
fireball. But
Ugh.
yeah, so getting through those 75 days, I had the crutch of the pot to smoke. So the first week was rough. One of the things that helped me, hopefully I don't tear up, my son, he was like 7. I remember sitting out back talking with my husband, and I was talking to him about how I was cranky, first off,
Mhm.
for the first week. And, uh, there were times when I was like, I got to get my second outside workout in, and I'd go out on the patio and do like, some push ups and all that stuff. And there was one time during the day, I was talking to him and just complaining and how I really just want to freaking drink. Well, I don't think I said that because my son asked what I was talking about. And I said, I'm trying to do something that I'm so used to doing and it's not good for me. So I'm trying to not do it. And he said, anytime you want to do it, just think of me.
Aw.
And so that really helped. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. So that kind of helped. Anytime I was like feeling the urge and when I didn't want to get the walk in or go outside and work out, drinking the water was so annoying
Did you have to, like, pee, like, all the
all
time?
the time.
Yeah.
And like when you work, you have to stop what you're doing, go to the
Yes,
bathroom.
you're like, "I promise I'm not sick. I just have to pee, please."
Yeah. And that's what started this big old jug
Yeah.
because 2 of these is a gallon. So
That's a
I would
lot of water.
Well, and this big Stanley keeps it so cold,
Mm.
so it's also harder to drink cold water really fast, like, I've gotten a brain freeze from this.
Yes.
But, yeah, and then after a while, I'm really glad that I had to do those progress photos because I think it was, like, 3 weeks in, you could really see a difference, and I don't know if it was all the water. The diet that I was sticking to was just trying to I didn't eat sweets and then
Mhm.
just watching my portions. But the pictures, you could really tell a difference. So I'm like, "Okay, I could stick with this." And I was starting to see, like, definition in my arms,
Yeah.
and I feel like my face was really clear from all the water. But, yeah, so that really kickstarted it. And then when I finally, hit the 75th day and I looked at my beginning photo and then my end, I was like, "Okay, that's awesome." I didn't know that after the 75 days there was something called phase 1 where you had to do it was like another challenge,
Oh,
and it
wow.
added on all this other stuff, including cold showers, which
Ugh.
if you ask my husband, I don't like. I mean, in the summer, like a cold shot at the end is
Mhm.
okay,
Yes.
but I can't do a straight up walk into a cold shower. I would
Mm-mm.
be miserable. Like, good for your body and all of that. But yeah, so that kind of was the start of it. And, the fact that I broke the cycle of not drinking and how good I felt. I was, "Okay, I don't really want to go back to that cycle." It was hard at certain events, especially holidays.
Mhm.
I went through, I mean, in the 75 hard, it was Memorial Day. That was a big holiday. I think we were at the beach. You just have to have different things in place of the alcohol that you were drinking. I like these little Topo Chico
Mhm.
drinks. I think back then I was drinking those Celsius.
Yeah, you were. That's right. You had a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I mean, they look like alcohol. I didn't feel
Well, especially if you put it in, like,
a
a can
koozie,
koozie or
yeah.
something. Yeah,
But, you
nobody
can
knows.
only have so many energy drinks.
That's true, and you're, like, bouncing off the walls. You've just replaced, like, one addiction with a different addiction,
Right?
which is not as bad, but is still bad in different ways. Because then, like, you gotta worry about your heart and, like, what all the caffeine is doing to you.
Sleep, yeah. And I also heard after a while that there's something bad with the Celsius, so now I've switched over to the First Form energy drinks, which are really good, but yeah, you have to pre-plan, and then, the holidays are rough because it does feel like everyone drinks and really used to throw back some wine, and everybody in my family likes the wine, and it's hard, but then again, I still continue to wake up early and work out, and I don't feel like crap in the morning.
Mhm.
So that's something that I look forward to regardless of what I'm drinking. Yeah, now if I eat a ton, like crap,
Yeah,
but
it's a different kind of feeling then.
yeah.
So how was your support system during all of it? Especially, like, when you started, was it just your husband that knew about it? Did you have friends that were being helpful? How did that work out
Yeah,
for you?
actually, I started the 75 hard with one of my good friends who lives in Florida.
Okay.
And she doesn't have the same kind of issues that I have. She was not a big drinker, but she knows how it's really bad for her body. And then she didn't want to lose weight, but she wanted to gain muscle.
Okay.
So she started it that same morning, and we would always check in with each other throughout the day and all of that and complain to each other. So that really helps. And then, so I downloaded the 75 Hard app. That helps. And then there's something called No Mo. Like no more.
Mhm.
And I downloaded that, and you can type in what you're giving up or whatever, and then how many days a week you do it and how much money is spent on it. So that helps. And then with the 75 hard, oh, I also forgot one of the things you have to do is
Was the
read.
reading. Mhm.
Yes, I forgot that. And it can't be like a novel. It has to be like
Yes, like self-development or
correct.
mhm.
Yeah. And so one of the first books that I read was David Goggins. I think it was The Can't Hurt Me and then Never Finished. Or maybe I read Never Finished and then Can't Hurt Me, but either way, I read both of them. I don't know if you've read any of his
Mm-mm.
stuff, but his books are really good, really motivating. And so I read those too, and then the I did a audiobook on my commutes, the one Quit Like a Woman by Holly Whitaker.
Oh, was that one any good?
It was so good. She she gives information
Mhm.
on the health side
Okay.
of the alcohol and things that, like, really turned me off about what alcohol does to your body, and
Mhm.
basically, it's like gasoline that you put in your cars, and everyone thinks that it's okay,
Mm.
and the media gets behind it just because all these advertisements with, "I just wanna make money," and literally, like, killing society,
Mhm.
but guess everything in moderation, but most people don't use it in moderation.
Yeah.
If you tell the most of the population go 30 days without alcohol, they can't do it. Or they'll be like, no, I don't want to, you
Mhm.
know? So it's just that helps reading that book. And then one of my favorites, The Power of Discipline, Daniel Walter. That was a really good one.
Okay.
Um,
Did you read that one or listen to that one?
I read that
Okay.
one. Yeah. That was a really good one just to keep me going after the 75 hard. I think I read that one actually, like, within the last year. But, yeah, those really helped. The NoMo app helped, most recently with the smoking
Mhm.
because one of the reasons why I wanted to do that was the amount of money that I spent, especially with the legalization
Yes.
of it. And my tolerance was so high that I would go through it so quickly. And I'm surprised that my husband didn't bring it up more often about how much money I spent on it. I guess he just thought that happy wife, happy life, if that's what
Yeah.
she loved. But I mean, I on Wednesday or Thursday, whatever my 1 year was, I've saved $11,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like, I was spending at least $200 a week, and that was just, like, the norm. There were
So
some times I'm
crazy.
like, "Oh, this is on sale," so it'd be, like, a lot more than that, and
Can
it
you
would
say how much you were using? Like, I don't know anything about it, so the numbers aren't gonna mean anything to me, but for any listeners, for context, are you able to say how much? Because
Yeah.
disclaimer is, it was legal. Everything Taylor was doing was within the legal limits
Yeah.
of the state.
So, I mean, I was probably my husband got me talked out of buying the pre-rolls because those were more expensive. I rolled my own, but if I did the edibles, which that was fun, that gave me a different kind of high. I my tolerance was so high that I always had to buy the highest dosage. That was like 200 milligrams, a little gummy, and that was just that bag, I think was usually like 180
Wow.
because there's so much. Like most people like 10 milligram, they're good.
Mhm.
But and then, for the flour, I was never good at estimating how much I use. Maybe like an ounce a week. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I never saw an issue with it. I had been doing it for so long that I just thought that it was what it is, and I was fully functioning. I didn't think that not people, but like my family members, I'd go in the bathroom, smoke a bowl. I didn't think that they would really smell it, but now
You always
it's
smelled like weed. Your car would smell like weed, like,
oh my
it was a
gosh.
lot.
Yeah, I don't know how I did that. Like, I remember there was one time at my husband's work party. I don't know how he let me smoke a joint, and then we walked in there. Oh my gosh, yeah, and when I was doing the 75 hard, even before then, I would smoke, and it was nice to smoke and stretch and work out like that.
Mhm.
I would smoke a joint and go for a 5K run.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't know how I did that. I could never have an edible and run. That was a
Okay.
that was a different
That's where you drew the line.
well, yeah, I couldn't feel the ground, but, no, someone did recently tell me that smoking pot expands your lungs, so a little bit of it before you run is good, but I don't know if that's accurate. I haven't fact checked that. Yeah, I remember I smoked a joint on the way. My sister and I, we were running, I think it was like a St. Patty's Day run or something, and I was picking her up. I smoked a joint before, and then she hops into my car, and it was silent, and I could tell that she was about to just yell at me, and the sister was
Mm,
like, "Did you just" and first off, she was, like, in the car while I was driving her, so I'm sure she was scared, but unfortunately, I drove and smoked all the time, so I was like felt like I was okay,
mhm.
and then the fact that we were getting ready to go run, like, an organized run, and that was my pre-workout,
Yeah.
but yeah, no more of that, I couldn't imagine if I were to smoke right now because my tolerance, I would probably be hiding under the bed just because it's completely different, and I don't want to go back to that
Mhm.
cycle because I know myself. Same thing with the alcohol, like, I know that I would just go back to using it again and feeling like it's needed, but it's not really. I feel 100% present
Mhm.
in my life, and but I like it. I like being aware of things and, you know
That's what I've noticed about you too. I don't know that I could ever tell for sure when you were using or how much, but there were sometimes we'd be talking and you'd just be distant. Like I'd ask you a question and it'd be like, a pause before you'd answer. And I didn't know because I've never done drugs. I haven't been around it. So I didn't know.
Mhm.
So I just thought you were ditzy sometimes. That's just Taylor, whatever.
I think I am. I think I am too. Yeah.
But I'm glad you broke free from it.
Yeah. I mean, I was always the heaviest pot smoker of my friend group. And,
When did you start?
gosh, I tried it in like sixth grade,
Mhm.
one hit, but that was like, I did not continue it. In high school,
Okay.
I got pretty into it, and my friend group we were the partiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember using this one friend of ours, her parents were divorced. Her mom was less interested in what we were doing. She was very sweet, but yeah, making like milk jugs, water bongs, and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I've always just had my way with stuff. It got bad at times with things, but I'm glad that I didn't fall down a much worse path than
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
could have. Some people I know, but yeah, I never thought that I would stop smoking the pot.
So, what have been some of the results or impacts you've had since quitting? What have you noticed, whether how your cognitive self is, how your physical self is, how your emotional self? Are there different aspects where you have seen improvements since you've quit?
A lot has happened in my work in the past year. A lot of things have been put towards me, and I've stepped up. And I don't think that would have happened if I would have been continuing to smoke, because as soon as I was done working, I was lighting up. And if I got a call from a client after that time, I was like a deer in the headlights looking at my phone, like, can't answer. I would just wait until it stopped ringing and then hope that I nothing is needed right now,
Mhm.
because but I don't have to worry about that anymore. I am completely cognitive, and then just seeing how much money I've saved too, that's very helpful. Um,
That
yeah.
probably keeps motivating you to stick with it too.
Mhm. Yeah. I am interested to do more research on what the longevity of smoking pot does to metabolism, because I feel like ever since I stopped smoking, I have not been able to lose weight as easy.
Okay.
And I've been pondering the idea of doing another 75 hard challenge just
Mhm.
to jumpstart it again. But that would be the only thing that has changed, because I signed up for that half marathon last October,
Yes.
and I was training for that all last summer, and I didn't lose 1 single pound. And I wasn't like, I think I was eating anything like crazy or
Mhm.
anything like that. So it's the only thing I think, I'd be interested to. And I know that sometimes when I've heard that if somebody stops smoking cigarettes, sometimes
Mhm.
they'll gain weight. So maybe I don't think I've started eating more. If anything, I would go on binges when I was stoned and like
Oh,
eat whole boxes of Oreos and ice cream sandwiches and stuff.
wow.
Weird stuff too. Peanut butter.
There's nothing wrong with peanut butter.
Like, I remember I used to take those mega stuffed Oreos,
Mhm.
open them up,
Yes.
put peanut butter in them.
See, that sounds delicious.
Oh,
Even completely sober, that sounds absolutely phenomenal.
oh, stoned, it was amazing.
I'll take your word for it.
But yeah, I did start running with the 75 hard and with stopping the pot, and it's really interesting to run because I never thought that I would like it.
Mhm.
My sister got into running, and I think she's ran like 19 half
And she's
marathons.
in, like, the princess ones at Disney too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And I don't know why I signed up for one finally, but that did make me start training for it, and I
Mhm.
was training completely sober. got my old pre-workout, and it's, like, very therapeutic to run, especially in our neighborhood, 'cause my route, a lot of it is around the lake, and so you see the eagles flying
Mhm.
sometimes, and sometimes I'd see copperheads.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, those are cool. Sometimes I'd get attacked by dogs, that's
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I stopped running with my dogs because we got the new dog, and,
Mhm.
but now I just run by myself and listen to music. But yeah, that's one of the hobbies I've picked up. Sometimes I read other than self-help books. I haven't
Mhm.
picked up a novel in a while. Maybe I'll get back into
If you need some recommendations, let me know.
Oh, I know.
'Cause that's what I was gonna ask you, if now that you're free from all of that and you have more time, I was gonna ask what some of your hobbies are, or if you've gotten involved in other things or other projects or groups or anything to fill your time.
No, I've wanted to. I've taken on more roles with work,
Mhm.
and with that, and that's came an increase in salary, so that's really cool.
So you're saving money and you're making more money, like,
Yeah,
you are winning all around.
yeah, uh, yeah, it is pretty neat, and I wouldn't wanna go back. I'm surprised that I'm here where I am today, um, with how I was, because I was, there was a lot of people who didn't know, like, closet drinker, and a lot of people are, I feel like, that don't wanna
Mhm.
admit it. Not so much closet drinker, but that just drink more than they should.
Yeah, and they don't even acknowledge it, really.
Yeah.
And I do think it's changing some. Have you heard the term California sober?
No? What does that mean?
Okay, and I'll fact check it before I post this, but I think what I heard is California sober is people who don't drink anymore but still use weed.
Oh, that
So
makes
it's like they're sober because they don't drink, but
Mhm.
they're using another substance. I've heard that. But I do think, especially in our friend group, most people aren't drinking anymore.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe you didn't know this, but yeah, there's a lot of, and it's funny because I'm not a drinker. I'm like, oh, I'll have a glass of wine with my charcuterie board. But I'm good with just one glass too. So I don't
Oh,
have that addictive personality.
yeah.
Or if I want, like, when I go to the pool, I will get a seltzer or something, like, because it's cool, it's refreshing. But for me, it's not even about, I don't even need it because I don't feel anything with it. It's just, oh, it's summer. I'm going to drink,
Yeah.
whatever. But I've
Awesome.
gone long periods without it too. And yeah, most of our friend group isn't drinking anymore either, which has been, I think, really nice because my birthday party, we didn't have any drinks.
I saw that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then when the
Oh,
girls
the
threw,
party.
yeah, the podcast launch party, no drinking.
Mhm.
So I think it's been nice because I think people are more accepting of it. That's the point
Yeah.
I was trying to make. And I think that people are more willing to know, hey, if I'm having people over, I can't just have a party punch like with vodka or whatever. Like, you
Yeah.
need to have other options for people. And I think it's becoming more mainstream. And maybe, like I said, it is just because it's our circle. But I feel like it's not a bad thing to not drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awesome. When I was first started the 75 Hard, I actually went out to California with my family, San Luis Obispo, and they had a whole menu of mocktails.
Mm-hmm.
And out here, you don't have that too much. One of the things mocktails is all sugar, but
Mm-hmm.
wish it wasn't. But I had the best mocktail. It was like this jalapeno margarita.
Ooh,
Oh, I have dreams about that thing. The rim had some sort of red jalapeno salt. It was really good.
that sounds phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, for someone listening who may still be struggling with their relationship with alcohol or marijuana, what would you want them to know? Or what advice would you give?
You can't really give it
Maybe it's
to
not advice. Maybe if it's somebody struggling and they want to give up, what would you want them to know?
if they want to, they have to have the discipline because it is
Hmm.
hard, especially in the beginning, but it gets easier. Like the longer that you go, the longer that you me personally, the longer I don't want it. There are a couple times I'm real stressed out, but then you could work out or
Hmm. You
something
fill it
like
with something else.
right. Yeah. I mean, it is definitely possible. One of there is another app other than Nomo. I don't remember the name of it. It was a different one that I used for pot, and it had like more options to put in, like, how I'm feeling, and there was, like, different therapy questions I could answer and, like, little different mind games that I did do towards the beginning, and,
Mhm.
like, they had the daily check-ins, and now, like, I actually this week, I had to reset my password because I hadn't been in it for
Oh,
so
wow.
long that I didn't need it, but that one was pretty helpful. I don't remember the exact name of it, but there's a lot, and don't ever second guess yourself just because, someone else that you are close with doesn't think that you can or that
Mhm.
is the complete, opposite of your lifestyle.
Yeah,
Yes, you just have to do what you feels best for you and just yeah, have some discipline cuz nothing in life everything worth something in life is not easy. You have to work for it.
right.
And if you haven't realized that yet, then you're shit out of luck because you're not going to go anywhere if you just take the easy route every single day.
That's true because the work you put in is rewarding and it's worth it in the end.
Yeah. And it's going to be hard,
Mhm.
but nothing, life is easy, you
That's
know?
true. Now, you said you recently celebrated your year anniversary. How do you celebrate that and how do you keep your progress going?
I was really smiley on Thursday.
Good. You should be.
My husband woke up and I plopped in front of him and I think he asked what time it is and I said, "It is time to celebrate my 1 year." When I told him how much money we've saved.
He appreciated that, I'm sure.
I wish I had been just putting all that money into an account for the last year. I guess
Mhm.
I've started other spending tendencies. I go to Supplement Superstore and I try and take care of myself in that
Mhm.
regard, and I've got protein and stuff like that, starting on those new drops.
Oh, are you? I'm curious to see how that turns
I
out.
know. So,
We'll see. You'll have to tell me how it goes.
yeah.
All right, so final question. So if you could tell your past self something, what would you tell a past version of you?
Ugh, how past are we talking?
Let's go back to the version of you right before you started 75 hard and gave up the alcohol.
Oh,
So think of where you were 2023, 2022, 2021, that version of Taylor. What would you want to tell her?
oh my gosh, I would wanna shake her.
Okay, that's an option.
Like, I just thinking, oh my gosh, and I went through some of my videos on my phone to get ready for this, and you can hear in my voice, like, how drunk I was, and, like, my son was around, we were with my husband, we were at the beach, and I'm on the golf cart and just having a blast. I look so happy, but I'm
Mhm.
slurring crap out of my words, and I just hate the video, and so I wish I would have realized this sooner, a lot sooner, and would have done something about it because I feel like there was a lot of time wasted.
Mhm.
Not so much wasted, just I could have acted a little differently, maybe a little bit more responsible, a lot
Yeah.
more responsible. And I think that there's a lot of people who could benefit from taking a step back and looking at their actions, especially at the beach.
That's why I don't go there. So in our neighborhood, there's the pool and there's the beach, and you have beach people and you have pool people.
Yeah.
And I have not been to the beach in years because it's a bunch of drunk people. They're
Yeah.
smoking. It's gross. I don't want my son around that. I don't want to be around that. So I go to the pool where, yes, sometimes there's drinking, but it's more family friendly. It's
Yeah.
cleaner. So I'm definitely a pool person because I don't want
Yeah.
to be around all of that.
Yeah. And there's some restaurants and bars, clubhouse.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish it was less bar-y, but
So, Taylor, I am so thankful you came out today to talk about your
oh,
story. This was
thank
super fun.
you.
I want you to know that you are welcome back anytime. You can come talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Okay.
Before we end, are there any closing thoughts or anything else you want to share with our listeners?
Mm. I just think that don't second guess yourself, and it's always good to set goals and have those goals be things that you don't think that you ever would have achieved,
Hmm.
and then surprise yourself when you do achieve them.
That's awesome. Surprise yourself and then celebrate yourself
Yeah,
and
for
reward
sure.
yourself for all the work you put in because you've earned it.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome. Thanks, Taylor. Look
Thank
forward to
you.
talking to you again soon.
All right.
All right. Thanks for spending time with me on Talk with Kristen with an E, where it's always cheaper than therapy. If you enjoyed today's chat, don't forget to subscribe. And hey, let's keep these conversations going. You can find me on Instagram at Talk with Kristen with an E. Let me know what's on your mind. Until next time, take care of yourself. And remember, life is always better when we talk it out.